And good morning from Greens with Envy Homestead. I got a hummingbird buzzing me in the back of the head here, so it'd be nice to catch him on the film. But this video this morning, um, this is the day after August the 10th, and we're all kind of nervously looking at the EBS test that's designed for later today, sometime after 2 p.m., 1400 for some of us. And I'm going to go across some pros and cons of what this test may entail. Hopefully it's things that you haven't thought about. Hopefully it can generate enough talk and mind-provoking interaction that may give us all some answers of what's going on. So I'm going to try to run the camera so you'll have some nice peaceful morning to look at here while I kind of touch on some of this stuff, and hopefully it won't get too busy. So the EBS test that's going on is supposed to be a nationwide alert system for everybody, presidential speech, that type of thing. It's going on sometime after 2. So I'm just going to kind of touch on some of the pros first. We all have alerts every day on our devices, phones, tablets, computers, etc. So some of the pros is Amber Alert, which was generated in Texas for the little girl Amber that got lost, and now it's nationwide. So that's one of the great things for some of these alerts. Silver Alert, that's for elderly people that might get lost, whether it's their lack of memory or their sorry, I can't think of those things that causes them to lose where they're at. Maybe coming down with it myself. We rely on them for weather alerts, like heat advisories, tornadoes, not so much earthquakes, and especially not here in the central U.S., but tsunami alerts, and also presidential alerts. Back in the day when our parents were growing up, they sat around the radio, and I'm 64, so my parents were in that era. But they would sit around the radio and listen to the news, different entertainment shows and things. And we all remember, if you weren't there to see it, which I wasn't, but I'm sure you've seen clips of the presidential alert on the attack of Pearl Harbor, and he said, "This is the day that will go down in infamy." I'm sure you've seen that. That was a presidential alert. And so this is going to be different in the sense that it's not going to be something you hear on the radio or something you're going to see on the 5 o'clock news at night. This is going to be instantaneously in your hand, whatever device you happen to be on at the time. So I was 6 years old when JFK was assassinated, and I remember to this day very clearly, whether it was Walter Cronkite or wherever you got your news source from, it was instant. Shut down all the networks, and this is what we're talking about. Event. So they had the capabilities way back then to shut down at least all of the media sources and stuff. Notifications, I kind of already touched on that, but whether it's a text from your bank, an email from your bank, emails, text, Facebook, other social media, those notifications are kind of a backdoor. We get these. We used to have the user agreements where we would click on yes, I agree. Well, now they've got Most of them are set up to where they don't even have to ask your permission. It's just automatic. So these are kind of, in a way, these are backdoor um, operations in your device where they can just instantly send you a notification, or I'm sure you've all seen the new system update. Please update your device. um, you know, every device we have here nowadays is they're all from China. Yeah, some of them made in other countries and things, but whether it's Google or what have you, they all have a back door, and it's the way China monitors our everything. We don't even know all of the ways that they monitor us, whether it's our simple shopping practices or our contact list or what we're researching through the day. And so that kind of brings me to we've all been warned about viruses. You might have even sent them out. If you see a friend request from me, etc., etc., and the whole deal is, if you see something on your device that looks kind of suspicious, we just automatically don't click on it because we think it might be a virus or a Trojan that can come in and take control of our device. So, we've unfortunately, there's probably been a lot of us that have been victims of those type of viruses and things. So, what's the possible, kind of getting into the cons now, what's the possible reason why this could just be another implementation of a backdoor through our big G, and that would be, government. All the alphabet agencies, they're already listening to us, following, recording conversations, locations, contacts, history contact, our researches and all that. So what is it they could possibly gain additionally to what they already have capabilities of? On Facebook, I've got to where I just wasted my time to post anything anymore because I've been ghosted on Facebook. People make jokes about being in Facebook jail, but when Facebook ghosts you, I can count on one hand the people that my post actually reach, and it's because I've done so much political and you name it. I put stuff on there. But anyway, if what if their main goal is to isolate conservatives from progressives? They could have all kinds of reasons why they want to do it, but what happens if you no longer have a contact list? What happens if you no longer have a tool to research things you like to research, find out for yourself, kind of, so to speak, you heard such and such on this news broadcast, but I like to find out, is this true? Either verify it or prove it wrong, what have you. They're already monitoring every gig that comes into that you spend on your phone or your, whatever you're looking it up. I don't care if you're just shopping for a new pair of shoes, they know about it. So I guess the biggest thing that is got me concerned is this is just, in my opinion, is going to be another tool to control the masses. China or any other communist country, that's what they do. First thing that goes is in our case, the First Amendment right, freedom of speech, and etc. But then it's also going to be the regulating what they are telling you is the truth. We've always been, succumbed to that. I don't care how far back in history you go. The people that win the wars are the ones that write the history. So, we can look at it another way. What if let's just say all progressives had iPhones, iTablets, Apple devices, and all conservatives have Androids? What happens if you wake up tomorrow and now your Android device is trash? You can't use it for anything except government input, the propaganda they want you to see across there. And the iPhone users were the only ones that had access to whatever they wanted. They had the freedom. I know you've all seen the situations on social uh, grading where you get social marks for being a good citizen, and that's probably going out on a different rabbit trail. But just to just to absolutely consider the thought that this may all be against conservatives and completely shutting down our means of communication, our means of showing someone else the truth, and then they have the wake moment where they go, man, I see it now. I see what you're saying. I think there's a lot of that going on with, the crap that's going on. I don't want to go into all the political stuff that's going on with this new administration, but in a real SHTF scenario, what if you lost your electricity? We all have. If you're any kind of prepper or a homesteader, or basically if you have any common sense, you're concerned about what's going on in the nation. You've seen the empty shelves. You've seen the gas lines and the eruption of inflation and everything. So what if all of this was designed to basically put up huge roadblocks for any conservative communication? And yeah, it could be basically a fear mongering or clickbait or whatever you want to call it on some of these channels that's warning about today in the EBS alert. But what if it's real? What if tomorrow you wake up and your Android phone, and again I'm just using the difference between iPhones and Android is a difference between progressive and liberal. I'm sorry, progressive and conservative. What if you woke up tomorrow and your Android devices did not work? You could see what they want you to see, but you no longer have a contact list. You no longer have abilities to research anything for yourself. You don't even have abilities to retrieve any of your saved data. And of course, this is just a wild hair scenario, but what if you woke up tomorrow and your Android was just a paperweight? A lot of iPhone people say that that's all they are anyway, but I digress. So, what's the solution? The solution is pray for this nation. That's the only thing we can do right now. But something we can do to personally prepare for the what ifs, for the SHFTFs. Sorry, I digress. I'm ADDTDMOUSE. I'm going back to radios, like my parents did, sit around and listen to the radios. There's primarily three different kinds of radios that we can still depend on. One is shortwave. If you're not familiar with shortwave, look it up. Get yourself one. You can still get broadcasts from all over the world. Some of it's propaganda from communist nations, but it may be your only real source of news and other information of what's going on in the world, should there be a true shit hit the fan. So ham radio is another option. That is a transceiver, which means you can not only listen to it, but you can talk on it. You can communicate to other people on it. And of course, if you have your license, you can do that today. But in an emergency situation, anyone is legal to operate a ham radio. I'd recommend you get some information on how those operate. Get your hands on one. You can get an amateur radio in the form of a CB, but they have a lot of the uppers and lower channels that some of the ham enthusiasts operate on. And the benefit to those is they broadcast farther mileage, so you can receive on them or transmit farther than you could on a basic CB, which leaves CB back to my third choice, and that is, I drove a truck for 27 years, so I lived on that thing for forever. It kept us awake at night, but main thing is it gave us alerts for down the road, and not just the Smoky Bears, but accidents, traffic jams, a dangerous vehicle on the side of the road. It could be, all kinds of things that it can alert you to. And so I'd recommend getting a CB radio for local communication, maybe talking to your neighbors. If you live in a close community, you could set up a network and even a channel that you all monitor and regular. You leave that thing on, and anybody needs to talk, give you an alert or whatever, it'd be a good emergency backup. And you can use the little handheld walkie-talkies, but they're really limited in range. Typically, you're doing good to get a mile, and that's line of sight. So if there's hills or mountains, you're looking at whoever's in the valley with you. If you can reach the next mountaintop or hilltop with the radio, and you'd be able to receive them. But that's why I say CBs, keep one in your vehicles. Start listening to it. Yeah, there's a lot of trash talk on there. You don't have to stay on 19. You can pick your own channels and things. So anyway, again, I'll go back to the main thing, and that is pray for this nation. Everybody can feel it. Everybody can sense it. You can smell it. It's in every shadow that you hear on the news. Something is about to break loose and happen. And I don't care if you're a Trump supporter or Biden supporter or Bernie supporter. I don't care about those things. What I care about is the survival of this nation, and we will get through this. I'm not worried about China coming over the next hill and taking us over. There's way too many of us that's willing to, stand up and protect this land that we love, our lifestyles and our families. I hope you're one of them. Keep your powder dry. Keep your heads down, your eyes alert, as Green Greg says. Eyes wide open and head on a swivel. So if you're really looking for a little plug for him, a great resource on possible grid down scenarios, Green Greg's on YouTube. He's got a lot of great information of what could happen if we lose our electricity. So hey, we appreciate you watching. Checked yesterday, and we're up to 109 subscribers. We're rolling. It's kicking off, and it's all because y'all people are liking what we're doing and sharing with your friends. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and we're still working on the house over there. You're gonna have to follow our slow progress, but we're enjoying doing it, making a bunch of great memories, and building a forever home with or without electricity and water. We can make that happen. 200 years ago, they survived somehow. We can do it again. You can see a lot of these plants and stuff around here. We may be all eating plants before it's all over. Hopefully you got some kind of protein source, anything from chickens. I don't really recommend trying to think about hunting for a living, even though we back up to a bunch of woods. I could go on and on. Hope you got something to support yourself. In the worst case scenario, the grid goes down, all of that stuff. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Hopefully we'll get another video after this test is over and we can do an update. Thanks for watching.